Welcome to another edition of Workout Wednesday. I'm Dustin Sellers from Compass Conditioning, and today we're going to do a lower body circuit to go with last week's upper body circuit. Just like last week, it's going to be 8 exercises of 8 reps for 4 rounds. In between each circuit, which again is back-to-back exercises, you'll take anywhere from a minute to 2 minute rest depending on what your need is. Let's go ahead and get started with the exercises. The first exercise is going to be a goblet squat. So what you want to do, get your feet hip width or slightly more apart, feet pointing slightly out. Hold the kettlebell, or you can use a dumbbell, up towards your chin, back elongated and neutral. And you're going to want to, at the same time, kick your hips out and your knees forward, down into a squat. If you can, try to bring your elbows so they touch the inside of your knees. Press back up. That's 1 rep. We're going to do this again for 8 reps. Inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. Second exercise is going to be a reverse lunge. So what you'll do is you'll do 8 on one leg, followed immediately by 8 on the other leg. Whichever leg is going to be your plant leg, the leg that's not going to move, you're going to want to hold the weight in that arm. And what you want to do is just step back and kneel down. 1 rep. 2 rep. Do 8 reps, switch sides. Third exercise, going to be a 2-handed kettlebell swing. So just like you had the same position for the goblet squat, feet shoulder width or slightly more apart, feet angled out slightly. What you're going to want to do is this is a hip movement. So you're not swinging your arms, you're actually kicking back with the hip and then thrusting forward, which then propels your arms. So kick back, forward, back, thrust forward. And do that for 8 reps. Fourth exercise, you're going to do a leg raise with your hips slightly further than shoulder width apart. You're going to hold the kettlebell just like you did for the goblet squat, but what you're going to do is you're going to bring one leg up to your elbow and then switch sides. Again, when you land, it's going to be a wider stance. So you're almost in a half squat position when you're coming back down. You'll do 8 each side, but alternating, so just 16 reps. Fifth exercise is going to be a front-loaded good morning. Again, feet slightly about shoulder width apart. It could actually be slightly more in, depending on what feels comfortable for you. Holding the kettlebell like you did for the goblet squat, but actually pressed up against your chest. What you're going to do is bend at the hip. Your back is going to remain elongated and neutral, and then straighten up. All this is just bending at the hip. Perform 8 rounds of that. Make sure you are not locking your knees though. You want just a slight bend in them. Next, we're going to do a side lunge. With this exercise, it's slightly different than the reverse lunge. You're going to want to use the arm with the leg that's going to be moving to be holding the weight, but in front of you. And you'll do 8 on one side and then switch to 8 on the opposite leg. So you'll come out, side lunge, make sure that your knee is not too far over or too far forward. You want it right above your toes, in line, perpendicular with the ground, and then press back up. for 1 rep. 8 reps of that, switch sides. Next exercise. Holding the kettlebell up, just like the goblet squat and some of the other exercises. What you're going to want to do is then push up to your tippy toes, and you're going to walk forwards. That's 1 rep, up and then back. For the finish of the first rep. And you'll do forward and back for a total of 8 times. Lastly, you'll do around the world, pass-throughs. There's many different names for it. But simply what you'll want to do is in a somewhat squat position, chest forward and up. You're going to pass the kettlebell between your legs. 1 figure 8 counts as 1 rep. And what you'll want to do is do this 8 times. Recap, you'll do 8 exercises for 8 reps, rest, and repeat 4 times. Do the first exercise, all 8 reps, immediately jump to the second exercise, 8 reps, and continuation until you finish the entire circuit. You can use 1 kettlebell for the entire process. Start light, slowly work your way up until you find where you can finish all 8 exercises with 8 reps with the same weight. In between each circuit, again, rest based off of what your body tells you that you need, anywhere from about a minute to 2 minutes. I hope you found this routine interesting. Hope you found it enjoyable. Hope you give it a try, and I can't wait to see you again next week.